Check. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing this evening? How's the weekend for everybody? Uniquely T doing good. Took it easy. Well, took it easy today. Had to work. I'm like a live sound engineer, so I had to work a very long day yesterday, like 13 hours. So took it easy today. Chilled a little bit. Got some groceries. If anyone got groceries today, was their grocery store super busy? Mine was like packed. It's kind of weird. But took it easy today. Hung out in the hammock a little bit, watched some football. Venison Futures ZM. All right. Swing bullish. Nice. We'll definitely take a look at that. All right, 502. We got 17 people. We usually pull 17, 20, 25-ish. So we'll roll with that because we always go long. Jay, good to have you, man. Weekend was good. Worked yesterday, would say it was relaxing. But with that, guys, we're going to dive in. And we're going to get started. Drink of water. So SPY, we'll start there. It's where we always start, you guys. I'm on the 4-hour chart right now. As we can see, we had that trend line last week. However many days back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're like right in here, right in this little pocket. So SPY or the S&P 500, we attempted an upper trend line break over. We did close over at one of those days. Ultimately, we opened a little bit at it or under it, and we sold through for continuous days sell down. And I guess to me, the most notable thing is Thursday at the open, attempted push break. So it's the 4-hour candle. Each of these candles is 4 hours, you guys. So 2 of them per day. That morning, love your opinion on elections. Yeah, Gabe, I'm gonna briefly go over that. Definitely kind of pay attention to what Tilio mentioned as well in his new newsletter, Gabe. But yeah, so far the SPY, the 4-hour chart, you guys, we are trending down the last week. Don't be overly bearish, but just some things I'm pointing out or mentioning is Thursday's open, or open, pushed up, in a failed breakout hold and ultimately sold down lower on the day. Same thing on Friday, attempted push up, we pushed up. So whoever was in there on calls, they made some money, of course, on a day trade, but ultimately we closed lower. And so I'm just seeing an immediate weakness on the week from last week. And that's the only thing I'm pointing out. And these two kind of teal lines, we've talked about these for weeks. This is, of course, all-time high upper zone. I wanted you guys to mark out, hopefully, this 570 zone. Sold through it on Thursday and ultimately bought it back up on Friday, closed over. And so to me, like I always say, if you get caught kind of chasing puts or wondering why we bounce, it's like we have all this information here from September 19th through basically October 8th before the breakout and leg up happened. So there's a lot of volume here. And so you have to think, even though this is an ETF, people are still buying shares in here. So it's like, where do the share buy orders get hit? Where do they get turned on? 570 is a very, very obvious answer. So to think about it in dumbed down terms, it's like we trade options, but it's like, where are the points of interest? Where are the sellers at up here? Where are the buyers at down here? And so 570, you guys, if we open at or around that tomorrow, we can definitely go lower, of course, but it's a very big level to, if we open at 570, it's just very risky, I guess you could say, especially 0TDs, SPX, all that crap you guys play. Sorry, I don't mean that in a rude way, but the risky stuff, if we open around 570, that's a risky spot to take an entry on puts. Like, can we come down? Yes, sold down through there, sold down through here. We can see the price action. But for me, we always say don't buy puts at support. 570 is a huge level to watch tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to gap up, gap below it, open somewhere around it. If we open somewhere around it, that's a spot to watch. We'll have to check tomorrow options activity, open interest. But as of Friday's close, these arrows are the highest activity, the highest volume. There's some activity. There's a big spike at 575. Big spike at 570, actually a bigger spike, and then some activity down at 567. So I'm just going to leave these here. It's just kind of fun to watch week after week to see if they play out, see if they push to it, see if they gravitate towards it. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Tuesday, big spike up here at 581. So interesting. FOMC meeting, I don't know. Maybe they try and pop it. Maybe they try and trap those buyers up there. Maybe they don't even push up there at all, but just some levels to watch because like Gabe had mentioned in the chat. So obviously, you guys, we have the election on Tuesday. I'm not looking for anybody's political commentary, but just just what I expect or what I think will happen, or what will happen with the markets, that is. So to me, um, whoever wins, if it's decided handedly and decidedly that night, um, I think as far as price action for the week, I think it makes it a little bit easier to decide, which way to play. But if we start seeing the headlines, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, whoever you listen to, if we start seeing headlines of guys, it's too close to call, we're gonna have to count overnight, and Georgia and Arizona, whatever, it's like, oh, we're gonna have to recount. If we start seeing that of too close to call, and Tuesday election night turns into election week, that's where I think we're going to see a lot of whiplash action of, you know, breakouts looking like they're going to break out and then they sell down really hard, kind of like an FOMC day, some big wicks on either side. And to me, I have no skin in the game on the market of which way, on swings right now. But if we start seeing indecision this week, election week, not election day, I don't think the market's going to like it. And I think we kind of trickle down here. Like I said, doesn't mean just buy puts and hope and pray, but it's, to me, that's what I think. We don't like or want uncertainty, the markets especially. And so whatever way you lean, it doesn't matter. But there's a lot going on in the markets with the Middle East and oil and all that stuff. And so I don't think the markets are going to want uncertainty. And so unless it's decided, that night, I think we'll see some weakness. But then again, even if we see that headline Tuesday, I think day one of FOMC is also Tuesday. And so Wednesday is the actual Fed meeting where they release, hey, are they going to cut rates, hold or add, which I don't think they're going to add, but it's either a cut or a hold most likely. And so, we're not out of the woods yet. We get through Tuesday night election and maybe it's decided, maybe it's not. The Feds have their meeting, I think, on Tuesday as well. Then they actually have their statement on Wednesday. And so if you guys know anything about FOMC, it's a big, crazy day. It's usually huge swing moves. That's why there's probably that weird volume up there and volume on the low side. It's either people hedging or placing bets. But it's a very kind of a crazy week. So if you struggle with trading, if you can't watch the markets because you have a job and you're taking alerts, if you're not good at stop losses, all the above, I definitely wouldn't be trading until like Wednesday. I know you guys get antsy, but the market's not going anywhere. If you miss a big, huge move up Monday, Tuesday, or a big move down, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there's still gonna be some really good moves or some setups there. But don't blow your port, you guys, based on just these huge moves, and you're not respecting your stop loss, because it happens a lot. There's not always a lot of activity in portfolio help tab, but believe me, support members, staff members, we get DMs a lot. I'm not going to say the guy's name or person's name, but they're in some Delta airline puts and they're in heavy, and it kept going up and up and up. And he's like, where should I cut? Where should I cut? And I was like, you should have cut a long time ago over here, or whatever. But my point is, you guys, you got to respect your stop losses, whichever way. The market does not care if you want to go up or down. So trade smart this week, you guys, because this is a week where, if you had a really, really good October, this is a week where you can easily blow all those gains because you're reckless. So do not do that. If you had a really good October month or a really good week last week, don't blow up this week, because it's hard to fight back from that, financially and emotionally. So that's kind of my thoughts, Gabe, and that's kind of my thoughts on SPY. I'm kind of going to glance over it just for now because we got some requests and we got to go over QQQ and some other things. But definitely, guys, 570, mark that level. 573, huge. I'm kind of do that tongue in cheek, important level every day. Very big level. Okay. QQQ. We had some fun last week. We almost hit all-time highs, which I think is this 5052 over here. What we did, we broke 500, that huge psychological level, but ultimately, or let me step back, we closed over it one day, and the following day we sold through, and obviously we had some weakness. QQQ on Friday pushed up a little bit, but some weakness. But big picture outlook, you guys, I'll zoom back in a second. I'm still on the 4-hour chart. Big picture outlook, this trend has been broken. Same with SPY, that we had 4 or 5 touches on. So that's a very important trend to take note of. This top trend only had a couple touches that were under that, and kind of these sneaky ones here. So when we set a trend, in weeks or months past, I like to extend these, if they make sense, that is. So we're getting some touches here, we're getting some sells under here and a bounce over. some sells through that and a bounce over, sells through that, a bounce over. And so hypothetically, if we start trickling down into this zone here, like kind of keep note on this. It's not, the trend line to save you, if you have to have a trend line, but it's something to watch. So, because there's been times, I've talked about that, something will bounce, and I'll message River or Tilly or something else. I'm like, dude, why'd that bounce there? And they'll be like, dude, trend line. And so, just keep note of this one. We can extend it or whatever, but just when it comes back to these trends that we came back to, those are some sneaky ones where you get some bounces where the level might not make sense, but just something I would point out. But just for clarity of chart, I'm just going to remove it for now. But these two are the ones that matter. And a zoomed in look, you guys. That 494 last week, I talk about it trade floor, kind of tongue in cheek. I joke about it, like don't be late. If we're under that on calls or if we're under on puts, like that's the safe spot for me. This week, 494 is my top. So meaning when I say that, so if I'm entering here at 47.35 on Monday, let's just say we have a nice bullish trend day. So I play on these big levels here. If you're on 0 DTEs and you're in at 489, you should not be thinking, hey, 494 today. There's so many levels in between there. But for me, if I were to take, a Friday contract on a Monday or a next week, say the market's open today, a next week contract, that is my upper zone. Or for swings, that is my upper zone, 494. But like I said, if you're trading 0 DTs, same day expirations, you shouldn't be looking at 494 as a top profit zone. That's just too unrealistic. It can get there, yes, but don't think like that. But for me, larger time frame charting, that 494, now that we're under that, that is our ceiling, that is our resistance, okay? And 484/483.84 is and what I am treating as my support, my lower range support, each day until we break it. So if we come down here Monday morning or Tuesday and we start trickling down, I'm in puts, I'm for sure selling all my puts at 484. We can go lower, yes, that's fine, but we can kind of see this range here now that we're back in it. So we're up in this little range here, moving up and down, we broke under it. Now we're back under it. And so we have to treat 494 as resistance. If you guys want some other levels, 491.18, 47.35. And if we break this 484, we can start looking left and look at this price action here. But for me, I'm just focusing on, I have 4 big levels to trade around. So depending on if we open over, kind of this point or level number 2, I'm looking for a push up here in the day, final price target. But again, my price targets during the day would be a lot of information between here. Like there's no way I'm holding a full position trying to be greedy for that whole thing. So QQQ is just, it's all tech, you guys. So your AMDs, Amazon's, NVIDIA, Apple, stuff like that. And so if you guys have trouble trading QQQ, I think the 3 biggest, someone correct me, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, or Apple, Amazon, NVIDIA, I think are the top 3. Those 3 alone can definitely move this name. So this is an ETF. All these names here on the left side are inside of QQQ. So if all these names are trending up, QQQ is probably going up. On Thursday, when that big sell candle happened, all this was red, bearish, bearish, bearish. Buyer volume was next to nothing, okay? So that's QQQ, you guys. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to get to some of the chat requests. So I'm going to get to what you guys requested first, and then I'll get to AMD, Meta, Microsoft are some really ones I really want to pay attention to this week. But again, FOMC and elections are going to make it tough, but I'm not going to say we're ignore that. We'll just pretend that is not this week, and we'll trade the chart in front of us. All right, finishing futures. Ooh. Oh, Zoom, okay. I get Zoom and ZIM confused at the top. Is this, all right. Nice little range. So I'm on the weekly now, guys. So I'm just going to build a trade plan for fitness here and kind of see what they're thinking as well. But so again, I'm on the weekly, just grabbing some levels here. Let me switch my drawing real quick, just to kind of figure out where we're at, what we're doing. Definitely over that. Definitely want to mark that. Fitness, are you already in this, or you're looking for a bullish setup to get in, or are you already in? Let me know. So I'm on the weekly now, guys, and I'm going to zoom in just to get kind of a more detailed look and see where we're at, and kind of show you guys just kind of basically how I trade, how I would trade it, and kind of give them some advice on what I would do. Just eyeing it right now. All right. All right. Some things to watch, you guys. We had a August. You know, this is a $3 range here. So if I do one of these things, you're like, oh, it's a huge move. Well, it is, but it isn't. It's a $3 move on this stock. So 67, we'll just call it 70 for quickness. But you know, we see consolidation to breakouts, and when they happen, they're usually big. They're bigger, okay? Or consolidation and breakdowns when those moves happen. It's you know, this is sellers right here giving up and buyers taking over on this big consolidation. If we break down, that is buyers giving up on 67 if we were to break down underneath that. So that is a bunch of consolidation here from August 22nd through, well, October 22nd, basically. So that's a good August, yeah, that's a good 3 or 4 months consolidation. So for me, the way I would play this is, if you're not in already, we broke over that huge level here on 70. Let me go back to the daily really quick. Let me change this. Just draw it thick for you guys so you can see what we're doing here, or how to build a thesis or a game plan. So look at this on the daily. So this candle here is from December 26, 2023, right here where my cursor's at. So we've been down there for, you know, pretty much a year. We just broke over it. So now if you're not in, we already know where we're going with this. We want the break and retest of 74, 76, or 75, a round number. So nice little pocket here. I can even draw a line here at 75. So for me, what we know about charting, guys, is resistance is resistance until it's broken. And now when you're over it, we treat it as support. Because once we're over it, we're treating it as sellers are kind of giving up here. Buyers have, as for now, you know, at least for 1, 2, 3, 4, or all last week, buyers are in control as of now. Can it change? Yeah. But for me, this is actually a really nice chart. It makes it very easy. So this purple dash line that's catching up, that's the daily 9 moving average, and this 20, or this green is the 20 moving average. So you've been in my lectures week after week, you guys. We have 3 reasons to say bullish on this name. Okay. So we got 2 moving averages underneath this, and we got 75 or 74, 76 zone. So for me, definitely, I'm on the 30-minute chart now. So if we trust that after our session, it looks like there's a little bit of sell down action. So we want to see some movement here, even if it's pre-market. We want to see if we sell under with some buybacks. And if you're the person to play the open, you take that open there, you take 75 calls or 76 with time, and you look for a bounce, and you say, okay, where do we sell at? Well, to me, your profit targets are easy because we have all this information from last week to play off of. So you bottom tick here at 74, 76. I'm definitely, let's just say I'm in 10 contracts. I'm definitely selling half or almost or most at 75. It's a round number, it's psychological. Not only that, we see this price action here. So I'm not just picking 75 just for the hell of it. Like when we see these candle closes, look how perfectly they're closing at these numbers. This is algos, this is computers trading this, you guys. So like when you see candles on the 30-minute closing right at 75, that's a level to watch. That's a level to watch. When you see all these candles up here in the top range, closing and or getting wicked down, that's a top range final sell. So very nice range here. We just call it 75 to, you know, roughly 76. So very nice, you know, $1 range. But if you get in down here, fitness, on some 75 calls weekly or even 2 weeks time, and you ride a whole 80-cent or almost $1 move, that pays you. You guys look at the delta. You know, the delta says for a $1 move, that's how much it's going to pay you. You know, if your delta is 0.80, I'm making up a number, and we move $1, you're getting paid $80 per contract on that move. Okay. So very nice range here. Again, let's be bullish for now. Maybe we chop, maybe we sell through, maybe we break out, but until we break below and we push up and we get some wicks and they get sell through and we get some wicks and we're pushed down, until we start seeing rejections here, I'm not bearish unless you want to start taking some puts up here and just kind of short. You know, if you're late to calls, if you don't trade the open, and we open somewhere around here and you're like, oh, rejection, double top, monies or ranges, you know, you listen to River, it's like double top. Yeah, take your puts there, write them down, take these price targets here from last week. But it's either short the top with caution or ride the trend up into our top, or if we see a breakdown of Friday's close or a breakdown this level here, you can safely, and I'm using air quotes over the computer, take puts down to here into this zone. But again, in puts, this should be your final profit target, price target, final zone there for me. That's what I would do. But nice chart. And this daily 9 is curling up. And so it also, plan number 2, if this ranges a little bit and this daily 9 stair steps up, and then you have the 9 underneath the 75 stacked, yeah, you take call swings if the market looks like it. Looks very nice. All right, I'm going to go over a couple guys. Trying to keep up the chat, look at the chat. Oh, wait, sorry, never mind. Rupee, Dell, and TWLO. Dell, I think I've charted in the past. We'll find out. Do I have any levels? Ooh, look at that daily 20 bounce. Perfection. Let's zoom out a little bit, see what we got. Okay, I'm seeing definitely some top range. What was that? That was dividend. This is earnings, so we got that out of the way. All right, ooh, what we got sneaking up here on the left side? Let's see. All right, yeah, let's do this. Show you guys how to chart if you're not good at charting, and how beautiful it is when it lines up sometimes. Definitely seeing these top range wicks here. Rupert, are you in these yet, or just wanna, let me look at the thoughts on them. Okay, yeah, let me know if you're already in them or you're stuck in them or you're in profit. But definitely last couple weeks here, or I guess you can just say all of October. So this 131, 131.13, like I always say, when you're in a 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart, 30-minute, and you see some big wicks, so this is meaning this price pushed up and rejected, all the way down, rejected. A couple days later, pushed up, rejected. Last week, attempted breakout, 4-hour candle, got it, but then the last half of the day rejected. Even on Friday, pushed up, first 4-hour candle rejected, but closed at or over it. We'll see where we open tomorrow. But same thing as a ZM. So we look here. So see, I'm just scrolling left, you guys. Why are we rejecting at 131? It makes sense to me. Hopefully it does to you. Look at that. Price action there, price action there, price action there. So it's easy. It's what I always say. Over 131, get long, stay long, but under it, don't fight it. Okay, so if you're day trading it, I'm not going to say if you have leaps, ignore it, a sell down, but anything short dated or day trades, if we start getting some close under 131, like don't fight it. Don't take calls here. Take an average. Take an average. Take an average. Like it's, instead of taking an average and taking loss, you could be taking puts the whole way down. Oh, sorry, I'm late to the chat. You're in profit. Nice. All right. Where did you enter at, Rupee? Let me know in the chat. Now I'm paying attention. I'm sorry. I'll watch the chat now. Let me know strike and expiration. That might be able to help you on some. Because if you're in profit, we're going to start looking left over here, man. And we're going to start doing this for you. Definitely see some price action here. I'm going to start marking. Hopefully you are in good profit, and let me know in the chat. I'll wait for you. Hopefully you took some trims, because this is a big spot. You don't want to be up like 80% or something crazy, and it's like you don't trim any. Hopefully that's not the case, but so definitely, you guys. Rupee, I'm looking here. I'm looking this June area. Definitely, there's a lot of consolidation here, a lot of volume here in this June area. I'll get one more for us, just get some price levels. Yeah, very nice. All right. So for me, definitely, look at that, rejected where it should. Okay. So if you're in profits, I mean, I guess I'll keep it simple. I would make a 131.55-ish, 132 if you want to round number, 132.34, and kind of a big gap here. But my top range, I don't know how much time you have in the contracts, but 133.62. So, hypothetically, you got in somewhere down here, trim all the way up. But definitely, we want to see some closes this week. Obviously, we got FOMC; it can really change things. But let's pretend we have an election and, FOMC meeting, get long, stay long as 131 holds, and you got a nice $2 range to push up through here. But again, don't be blind to where it's rejected, why it's rejecting. It's all this price action here from late July, mid-July. So they're pushing up in here. And so, if you're in shares down here, it's like, where do you think people are selling at? Definitely they're selling up here. So don't be late to that. All right, TWLO. Oh man. Shit, man. I just had earnings. Don't want to be rude. I just don't like commenting. Yeah, I can't really give any advice on this, man. I'm sorry. Giant gap up in earnings. Let's, if you're in here next week, let's just come back to it next week. It's too hard when what appears is this all-time highs. I don't know. No, damn. Again, it's butt whooped, not even close to all-time highs. Okay. Well, I take that back. Let's go over this. Sorry. Shouldn't have sold it so quick. All right. Look where that weekly closed. Let's get another level in here. It's still gonna be hard to give you advice on, but I'll do it anyway. All right, I'm gonna get 2 levels and we'll roll with that. So where's it rejecting? Where did it stop? Does it make sense? I always say that. Damn it, need more time. Sorry, guys. Oh, daily, I guess. Man, it hasn't been back here since. Oh, this is a 2-year, clawing back 2 years. All right, well, definitely a lot of price action here from July 2022. That was the point I was trying to get at. Definitely this spot here is where it's rejecting and why it's rejecting there. And so for me, again, huge gap up from earnings last week. And so if you're in shares or options, you definitely, for me, I want to break over 85 and hold, or a dip retest into 80 and get the bounces here, because it's tough post earnings on that big move up, that huge gap we've seen that candle. So for me, just look to this is June 14th, 2022 through August. So just go to that level here and find these levels here and play the price action between here, because it's just such a hard to give advice on something like this. It's like we gapped up, we got 2 days of information here. It's like where it closed, yeah, it made sense, but this is just a hard name to trade. We can come back to it next week and see how the price action played out, but that's a tough one. Norvin, are you in VST? What do you want on this one? Interesting here on VST. Looking long. Hope you're getting time. Let's see what we got here. On the daily, yeah, I'm still on the daily. Not a bad shot here to take your shot if you're not already in, right? Interesting. I definitely like where it closed, because I'm looking at definitely looking at this little consolidation box here. And we closed right there. So yeah, that's an ugly daily. All moving averages are overhead. Not good, but you buy, like, if this is a TV and it's Black Friday, do you want to buy a TV for $143 or $119? Okay, so stupid, comparison or whatever. But the point is, as long as it's a profitable company, you guys, you don't like on shares or even options, you don't trade this breakout on calls. Okay, you trade this consolidation breakout retest. Okay, and so what I'm getting at is, buy on a little bit of fear. This might be a good week to buy some fear on some names, you guys, as long as they're not shit companies. But I'm on the daily, can't deny it. It's a big spot. It's an ugly daily candle, ugly week, as was most things. But again, you guys, one thing to note is last week, we may have closed and everyone's thinking bearish, bearish, bearish. And what happens? If we blast off tomorrow or Tuesday, everyone's going to forget about that, or their mindset will forget about that. So we need to adapt quickly. But this is tradable. This is tradable at 119, no doubt. We know if we get bounces there, we know what to do. We know we look left, we zoom in on a time frame here. You catch it. Well, I guess after hours sold there. Let's pretend it's still at 119. Well, you look left here. You get these 30-minute candles, price target 1, price target 2, price target 3, and you look left. So definitely tradable spot. All right, guys. What time we got? We got a half hour. Big tech names I want to look at. Don't want to be overly bearish on my sentiment or the way I talk about these things. So that is, a warning, a heads up. But I just want to point out some key things that I'm seeing in the market. Okay, based on some things we talked about in the weeks past, lecture classes. But I'm on the 4-hour chart here on AMD. Top range, bottom range, top range, bottom range. What do we always talk about? Top range, big rejection. Okay, so as far as I see it on AMD, we're back in. It's a big box, it's a big range, but we're back in this range. If you trade IWM, you guys know what a range is because it's been ranging forever. So we're in a big range. So whether you want to say this upper top and this upper level and this lower level is the full range, or this bottom section or this middle one, but AMD is back in a range. And so I'll let you guys just look at the chart here and decide for yourself where to not be late on puts at. I'm not saying dive in calls, but just pay attention to this level here, this 142, you guys. If you guys trade AMD, let's watch 142 tomorrow, the price action tomorrow, because definitely a name I wanted to point out to you guys. Again, I'm on the 4-hour chart. We sold through, like I said, as of last week, other than like Netflix held all week. Most big tech, the charts are going to be down from last week. But don't lose sight of where we're at, you guys, because we can have a sell through, these 142s. We see, like, look at these wicks here. Look at these big body candles off 142. Okay. Daily moving averages are now overhead, obviously. But now if 142 breaks and the markets look weak, that's where, I'm looking, if I was a swinger, I would be swinging short under 142 with confidence. Okay. But at 142, I'm buying dips. I'm buying the pushes down early market, price action. If I start seeing, look at Friday. If you're trying to buy puts here, how many 30-minute candles you're going to watch on the day and go, I think 142 is a big level. Like, if you're trying to buy puts down here and you keep, bounce up, stopped out. Come down here. Okay, puts, bounce up, stop out. Okay, this one's it for sure. Bounce up. Like, how many times you got to watch this before you don't chart it out or haven't charted out already? So you guys, 142 is huge on AMD. Okay. This is the hourly 20. Okay. This starts doing this, assuming we open something like this. Buy your calls off that. Or if we're over the hourly 20, even better. Take some profit there if you trade the open, breakout, retest off the hourly 20. Boom, ride it. Even though it was a weekday and we're making lower highs, we're probably going to open somewhere around here. And so do we make a lower high and sell down? That's fine. Sell through 142, take your puts here, but not at this level, because look at those wicks, you guys, from Friday. Like, if you're ever looking at a chart and you're like, why is it bouncing? Why is it doing this? Why is it not working for me? Chart it out. 4-hour, 1-hour, weekly chart, definitely. Okay. And so, okay, how do I trade this one? Okay, what do I do? Okay, I bought calls at 142. I'm on a 30-minute. This makes it pretty easy. 30-minute chart, I'm definitely trimming at the bottom of these bodies. So we buy calls here. I'm trimming here at the bottom of these bodies. Tops the bodies, hourly 20, Thursday's close, and so on. So it's like, you guys, I'm kind of doing that watch list on my tab. It's like, well, how do you find those price lists? I find key levels of interest every single day on whatever it is I'm trading. I look left and I go, okay, where's profit target 1? Where do I think I'm seeing sellers at? Probably the bottom of these candles here. Okay. All these candles here closes Friday. Failed breakout Friday. We push up here Monday. Where do you think there's probably going to be some resistance? Probably that 143 zone, you guys. There's no way you should catch a $1 move, not sell any, and have this price action hit you again from Friday and go, oh, 85%, I'm greedy, break even. Oh, 85%, break even. This is hypothetical, but don't trade like this. Like if you see this early in the day, you're like, hey, support resistance, and you play this range, calls, puts, calls, puts, calls. You can flip one name multiple days. Obviously, it's in hindsight, you guys. But my point is, when you see something like this, like don't be married to the trade, man. Calls down here, puts up here. You could have flipped that like 6 times on Friday. Fitness, yeah, under 142, definitely. I don't trade the open and it's a Monday, but again, we see some breaks below rejection. Again, hypothetical, double top on the day, opening range is set, whatever it is, or even better, if we can get some opens below these wicks here, like under 141.75, that's even better. So the reason it's better, I know I'm spending a lot of time on this one, I didn't mean to, but just because there's questions. So, okay, I said go short at 142. So you go short at 142, but you can't ignore these wicks here. So it's like you either take the 25-cent move, you sell 8 of your 10 or 3 of your 5 or 2 of your 3, whatever it is, you take the 25-cent move down, you be happy with the money. Okay. Or if we sell based on fitness's question, what if we sell under 170, 141.74, even better. To me, that's even better because we sold under, this is a wick here, no doubt, but excluding this wick, we sell under this, we now opened and we're rejecting under the previous day's lows. So if you guys know anything about my trading, the only thing I trade, previous day high low, pre-market high low, every single day. So I'm looking for these setups on my watch list every single day, and I just wait for something to trigger. So if we open lower, immediately I'm doing this. I'm putting alert, and I'm gonna go, you know what? I'm gonna wait for that to trigger. We open down here, I'm gonna let it trigger. And that's one thing. So I'm not gonna sit at AMD and just stare on the 5-minute chart, because guess what? Look over here, guess what? Meta's doing something else. And so you guys just set alerts. Or if we open over 142, what do? Put an alert here and go, you know what? 1K said 142 is a big level. I'm gonna set an alert, see if we bounce it, come back to it, and wait for the alert to trigger, check your watch list, and then that's how you do it. But don't just stare at one chart all day, you guys. Like I literally, when I do my pre-market scanning, I scan through, I set alerts, I wait for them to fire, and either send out an alert to the tab or I take a trade on my own, whatever it is, or I mention something, but it's all based off alerts, you guys. Yeah. All right, a little bit of a tangent, sorry. I'm gonna try and move quick. Lecture's probably gonna run long, but I got some things we want to look at for sure. I am now on Meta, you guys. Kind of the same thing as AMD, meaning like pay attention to a level. I'm basically trying to give you guys a charting class on how to chart levels. So what do? We had this little bottom down channel from last week. Okay, you guys, I said, hey, look for the breakout or breakdown, or trade this, downtrend channel, I guess you could call it, until it breaks one way. Got the breakout, got the ER, ultimately sold through it. Okay. So now we're back in this little zone here. So for me, 577.65 resistance overhead, daily 20 resistance overhead, 9 moving average resistance overhead, 570. You guys, look at this 570 level here. Thick line. Okay. We sell through, I'm on the 4-hour chart. We sell through 570. Look at the price action, the sell pressure below it. Okay. How hard it is for bulls to get back over it. We sell through it. Look at that follow through it. Okay. We open at it. Look at those big buys. Okay. We open at it. Look at those big buys. Friday, we opened over it, sold through in a big buyback over. Okay. So Meta 570. I know these contracts are probably super expensive now, or have been, but 570. If you got the port size for it and you're not reckless, and you get a strike that makes sense. Definitely. Another thing to watch, you guys. Extend these trend lines. So resistance, but guess what? Support. Look at that bounce there. Look at that bounce there. Okay. So for me, early in the week, 570 is what I'm watching on Meta. Okay. Over it, very nice range, $7 range. I'm not saying we get that in a day. Of course, I said that last week and we got that in one day, which was awesome. But top range, you bottom tick, trim all the way up. Like I said, don't expect a $7 move, but that's a nice move, a good setup forming on Meta again. A lot going on this week. What can look like a good thing on calls, and FOMC and Powell says something, and then they just smoke it and puts pay. I don't know what's going to pay, but I just want to point this out. Microsoft, same thing, you guys. Again, sorry, I'm going quick. I know we talked about Microsoft because I looked at my watch list from last week. Let's take a look at the chart real quick. Top range, I know I talked about that 430.65. Sold through it. Well, earnings. Okay, I guess I can't really cheat and say, it wasn't, but it's because of earnings. But my point is, this top range here, sold through, now we're under. Bottom range, we're now under Microsoft. So Microsoft, it's a good company. If you're a share buyer, do you want shares at 444 or 410? Shares are 7-8% on discount right now. Okay. I'm not saying go buy shares tomorrow. I'm saying, hey, look at this bottom range. But as far as buyers and options, they got some stuff to chew through. They got some work to do up here. So can we open up and push up to here? Absolutely. We start pushing a 416.34, 418. I'm definitely selling my calls there and repositioning. Get the breakout over, retest, or pushing up on the ceiling, rejection, push up, rejection, 416, 416.34. With caution, that's where you get your puts. Okay. You get your puts at resistance. You don't see a big down day like this on Thursday and say, oh, well, I'm going to get puts down here at 406 now, down here at support. But just a very, very nice range, I think, on these three names. I would have pointed them out. Sorry, I'm behind the chat. Errol, I think I'm saying it correctly. My watch list look like this. The buy sell percent volume I found on Reddit. I can send that. I think I actually have a tab now. I can pin this if you guys want. I think I pinned it in Thinkers or the script tab. The bullish and bearish, honestly, I'm about ready to delete it because I don't really use it. It's basically an EMA cross. So it's saying on the 15-minute time frame. So if we look at Microsoft, it's saying on the 15-minute time frame, the 9 EMA is under my 21 EMA, and it's signaling a bearish, because it would be signaling a downtrend because my 9 is under my 21 EMA. Honestly, I mean, it's nice, but I don't look at it and go, well, I'm gonna buy puts just because it says bearish. Like I'm always, every time, gonna check the price action. So honestly, I might delete it because I just found myself I don't take trades off this. I thought it was kind of cool to have. I mean, it's flashy, it's neat, but it's not something I base trades off of. I would rather look at Microsoft, in a bear flag, hypothetically. Way zoomed in here. Sorry, guys. Let me find an example, just hypothetical. So I would rather see Microsoft in a downtrend like this and me look at the seller volume and go, okay, there's only 35% buyers on the day. So that means 65% sellers. So to me, I would rather look at the buy sell volume and not the EMA crossover and be like, okay, it says bearish, let's take puts. Like, no, look at the downtrend. Does it make sense to take puts here for a continuation? So send me a DM. I'll hook you up with it. I mean, it's not secret. I'm not gatekeeping it if anybody wants it. But I'm not really into using it anymore because I did have like the 15, 30, and the 1 hour. But yeah. All right. Small port, slower movers, you guys. Hopefully you guys are taking advantage of this. Getting a few DMs, some good feedback on my watch list. I kind of just randomly started it last week because I basically had a watch list going that just said, hey, I'm bearish on Bank of America, I'm bullish on DraftKings, whatever it is, but it didn't really give you guys any context. And it's just hard when you guys get DMs. I appreciate it and I love helping people. When I get 3, 4, 5, 6 DMs a day, people asking for like different setups, how would you trade it? I'm like, man, this is a lot of work. It's just mentally draining. It doesn't mean I don't want you guys to send me DMs. I do. Please keep doing it. But there's a lot answering the same thing over and over. So you know what? I'm just going to give my level of entry if I were to take the trade every single time, and 3 profit targets potentially. And so that's kind of the watch list layout in my tab. So all right. So Bank of America, BAC, you guys, financial sector. Very probable downtrend, very pronounced, I guess is what I was looking for. 3 days of confirmation of a downtrend, lower highs, so high and a lower high and a lower high. And so tomorrow, where do we open? Okay. So from a chart perspective, you guys, if you're not good at charting Bank of America, again, the ticker is BAC. I'm on the 1-hour chart. This is not a big move. This line and this line, that's almost $1 exactly. Okay. So the strikes need to make sense, you guys, when you buy these names. And that's why I'm very selective when I pick names on my watch list, because if we're top range here, I'm not going to say, hey, take calls. It's like, why would I say take calls and have people getting calls when every day last week we rejected at 42.67? It's like, no, watch this downtrend. Are we breaking the downtrend? Okay, let's look at some 42 calls off this 41.62. Okay, so Bank of America has me interested early in the week. Again, there's a lot going on, but big levels here. We see the reaction when we come into it. I mean, even as recent as the last couple weeks, October 22nd and here October 30th. So just last week. So again, maybe people are bearish here. It's like, no, we got the daily 20 right here. We got a huge support right here. And yeah, we bounced. I don't think I took this, but I think I pointed this out in my chart or my watch list because I was pretty confident in that 41.62. So Monday, decision day. We got the downtrend. Do we break over? If we do, be cautious on some calls. Okay. And profit target, profit target, profit target, price target, whatever you want to call it. Just you look left all the way up. When we get this stair step down, he goes like this, that makes taking profit super easy. Because it makes these little stairs for you. So you look at these little shelves of volume here, and to me, this is only a 20-cent move. So on a Monday, Friday expiration may not pay nice, but this is like a Wednesday contract. This move here pays very, very nice on this name. And so for me, let's just see what we do. Open up. Trend is breaking. Daily 20 is going to open somewhere around here, so don't ignore that. 9's over here. But very nice range, hypothetically, if we trend on this name. If not, lower high. And this would be too perfect if they do that for us, but a lower high with a sell-through support, that will probably be a big move, meaning like a fast move, a continuation move, probably. Not a guarantee, but my point is 3 lower highs confirmed under a big support, and that just triggered probably a lot of stops, and so that move is probably big. Okay, and so something to watch on Bank of America. So again, you guys, 41.62, 42 flat, 42.14, 42.67. On the downside, if we break that, we start looking left. Okay, so we can cheer if we're in puts here, but it's like, let's not forget this wick here from Wednesday. Let's not forget this body candle here from a couple weeks ago. Then if we chew all through that, 41.22 is the obvious sell for a day trade. Okay, definitely a name I want to watch on that one. Jimmy, is that referring to Bank of America? Let me know in the chat. I'm not sure how late that is. If we lose a 21, yeah, this green is the 20 actually for me, but I think that's what you mean. So definitely, if I'm under my trend line, I'm making lower highs. I'm under 2 moving averages. Yeah, I'm taking puts here, the 41.50 puts under here with confidence, because I know if we push over, that's a small, like, I literally mean like if we open under it and we push up, that's where you take your puts, because if you break over, your risk is so small, you guys. Like, you don't take puts and go, Oh, I'm going to hold. Let's see if we reject. I'm going to hold. Let's see if we reject. Oh, now rejected. Okay. And let it come back down. Like, you don't do that. Like, your risk is so small because if we keep rejecting, this is our payday potential down here to down here. So small risk, big reward. Yep. Yeah, the green line is the 20. So again, you guys, I look for my steps of confirmation. I would have 1, 2, 3 things that say be bearish on this name. Okay. And again, you can hold shares in your Roth. That's fine. I'm just talking day trade setups, stuff like that. Because when we get this curl, you guys, this curl down, you guys remember KO from a couple weeks ago? Look at that. I mean, obviously it's hindsight, but my point is, when we break a big level and we start getting that moving average over us, that's when you get these multi-day swings. Obviously, man, oh, I wish I would have caught that. But this is KO, Coke. So we get to sell through the moving averages, and now they're overhead, these dash lines. That's what I'm talking about. So Bank of America, they're here. One's overhead, one is right at it. So that's how you catch those swings. It has to make sense. You got to be in put swings when the markets look weak, or sideways. Okay. If the markets are flying, you don't want to just take puts just because we broke under key level. Swing puts, that is. Okay. DraftKings, man, they got whacked. Look at this though. Nice down channel for you guys. So go back if you guys want to mark this on your charts. October 2nd, you kind of grab that price action here. You grab those bottom wicks, and top zone October 4th. Nice down channel. I tried to day trade this for you guys several times the last couple weeks, last month actually. We broke a big 37.50 on DraftKings. Big level here. Like, look how many bounces we played off that. Bounce, calls. Now, sell pressure. Never made it over. Sell pressure, never made it over. Now, that buyer's giving up at 37.50, and now we're trending down. When does the train stop? When does the slide stop? I don't know, but DraftKings, another name I just want to point out to you guys. This 35.42. Let's see where we're at here. Big volume shelf here. A lot of support here. So if we miss the move, but we got a down channel, it's a down channel until it's not. And so big support here. Maybe we push up. But my point is, look to buy some dips here with caution, and you take them to these targets here, and you take them to this trend here, this trend line here, upper trend line. Okay. Or if we sell through, it's a big level. You can take puts, yes, if we sell through, but be cautious. We got a trend line. We got supports not far below. So this 35.42 on DraftKings is big. And so on a zoomed in look, look at that. 35.42. How much I need to zoom in so you guys can see that. Look at that bounce. That's the opening 5-minute candle. Okay. When you see stuff like that, you say, wow, there is buy orders still parked there. So don't, if we open over, take puts and take your profit into this, and you sell all here. If it goes more, who cares? But don't start an entry on puts here. That's a big spot there. Big spot there. PayPal. I was hands off last week because of earnings. I liked this setup. I wanted to mention it to you guys in the watch list, but it's risky with earnings. I usually give it 1 to 2 days after, and so earnings was like Wednesday last week, and now we're 1 to 2 days after. Okay, so what do we have on the 15? Let me go a little bit larger time frame here, guys. Look at this little shaded area. Okay. That to me is my top zone until we break over. That's a pretty big level. Scroll left. Look at that. So say, how do we catch puts? How do we catch rejections? Where do we get them? Look at this price action here from September 20th. Reject. Day 2, day 3. Over, sold through 4, 5. Okay. Now it's support bounces. Now what do we get Friday? Hard sell through. When the Friday market, I think Friday morning, we were pushing up pretty hard. SPY and Qs pushing up hard. So big level here to watch, you guys. So as far as levels here, if you want some quick charting levels, 79, 78.48, 77.80, 76.60, basically. So for me, guys, I really like PayPal. It's probably gonna be on the watch list, even though we got a lot going on. It's probably gonna be on the watch list next week. But for me, this is my mindset for a day trade. I want to see, let's say we open here. I'm taking calls to here. I'm probably selling most because the hourly 20 is going to open somewhere around there, hypothetically. And that's also kind of that little pivot point there from Friday. That's the bounce from Thursday. That's the close after hours Wednesday. And that's the price action from earnings. Okay. So if we catch the move, or if anyone catches the move, take your calls into 77.80, take them all, or sell 9 of 10, whatever it is, or if you're in 5, sell them all. If the breakout happens, that's fine. Write it, and then that's your new stop. Okay. Well, if we open down here, I'm bearish into this zone here. If we open here, this would probably be final price target here. I would definitely be selling in this bottom wick zone here. Hopefully it zoomed in for enough, you guys. But I think PayPal's setting up for some nice moves this week because we cleared a big level. But again, we break over 78.50, we break over 79. I'll get bullish again. Bullish for some swings, or even bullish up to it for some day trades. But swings on calls, not till we're over this or not till we're down here in this bottom zone. You can see I already have a level marked out, ready to go. It's just chilling, just waiting. 75.50. Do we tag it this week? When do we tag it? So kind of a middle range, but definitely day tradable. Little risk on swings here on PayPal, but hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I trade PayPal a lot. It pays really, really nice. I know a lot of you guys, you trade the regular big tech stuff, but this pays nice, you guys. I can go to option chart any single day, and this pays good. I mean, obviously, middle of the day on Friday, that's a little bit of chop consolidation, but consolidation leads to expansion. Which way is it going to go? We'll see. But very nice name. Last one, a small pour. Uber, again, we'll have to wait till earnings. Uber and Lyft reported. We're past that 3 days now. Let's go to 1 hour. 78.50 was a big one. Gave it up. Had earnings. 76 was a big one. Sold through it, but earnings. And so let's maybe give this one another day, but keep it on watch. I definitely want to watch this price action here. 74.25-ish, and bottom range for the week, or as of now, 71.18 or 71 flat, because we see that big reaction there at this lower zone here. Make it larger so you guys can see it, or thicker, excuse me. Big bounce there. Does that bounce make sense? Absolutely. Look at all that volume there at 71. A lot of volume there. Okay. 76, kind of a big range, I guess, or the levels I'm giving. But for me, on Uber, again, this is just day trade outlook, for a day trade is, puts down into here, or if we open down in here, take your calls. Okay. So you may miss the move on puts and it looks ugly. You're like, well, why would I buy calls here? It's like, well, you buy calls on a double bottom. I mean, obviously it's sold through, but like a double bottom zone and a big support. You buy calls there, or take your calls and write them up to here. But I think it's going to provide a really good day trade for you guys this week. Uber, pick a reasonable strike. If we open around 73, don't be trading the 80s because, they're cheap. Well, they're cheap for a reason. They're not going to pay. Get, $1, $1.50 out of money, whatever it is on this name. Checking the chat real quick, make sure I didn't miss any names. Request, that is. Athena, IWM. I'm sorry I missed you. If you're still in here, we're going to look at that. And PEP. Yep. Sorry, guys, I'm behind the chat. I'll go over those two real quick and a quick recap on SPY in case anybody missed it, and then we'll end the chat. But let's look at IWM is fun. I don't trade a lot just because I try and keep my watch list very very consolidated, very detailed. You know, if it hits a level on my watch list, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to use much brain power. IWM, nice. Ooh, I think I see a trend line. Does anybody have this? I think I see this. Let's see, 2 touches here, or I don't want to cheat, but I'm trying to decide what would be the best, because I'm looking, if I look here and do this, we got a touch, 2, 3 zone there, 4, 5 zone and a trend break, or maybe that. I just don't want to make it too ugly though. Let's just roll with that for now. What do we got on the top? Definitely top range rejection. I'm just looking big picture here, then I'll who was that guy asking? Sorry. Athena, if you're still in here, let me know if you're in this or just kind of want an outlook on it. If you're still in here, let me know in the chat. But definitely, if you guys need some charting, 227.28. I think I'm gonna go with this trend line. It makes sense while we're zooming in here, but definitely, let's see where these bounces are happening. Definitely a bounce zone there. Yep, makes sense there. All right. Well, if you are bullish, you definitely want this 217 to hold this week. That 217 is big. So again, you guys, we see the dip downs into it, but we see the bounce reactions over it. When we're over it, that is, okay? We sell through it, we see the selling pressure that happens, okay? Talking about this big line here, this big thick line, 217. So we sell through it, a lot of selling pressure. So 217 is definitely the level to watch next week. A zoomed in look, definitely day tradable, definitely. Very nice levels to play with here. So how do we trade this? Take your calls with caution at 217. If we sell through it, that's fine. You know, what you do is if we sell through and you stop out, you say, okay, let me watch price action here. Like when I say sell through, I mean, you know, either a hard sell down, like if we sell through $1, you know, on a 5-minute candle, hypothetically, like you don't hold that. But if we sell down on a 5, like I need to be careful I say this. You gotta be able to take on some risk. So just because I say, you know, take your calls at 117 or excuse me, 217, and we sell through, like I don't mean like have an 8% stop and you're like, oh man, I don't want to lose any money because it's a support. Like you got to be able to watch the price action. So if we come down here and we see a wick, but on the 15 they buy it back up, to me it says hold. Okay, come down to 30, and a 30-minute candle closes or 30-minute closes over. That means hold. Okay, but you know, if you're trading the 2-minute, the 5-minute, whatever, like you got to be realistic. Again, if we sell through hard and if it's a fast move, yeah, stop out. But if we come down here, you got to be able to take some risk, you guys. And so I see in the chat, I see in DMs like, oh, I was nervous. I seen some red, so I cut. It's like, well, you're in too heavy or you're in a trade you know nothing about. One of the two or both of them. So if you have this level marked, you have to say to yourself, okay, this is a big level. I expect buyers to step in. They stepped in Thursday after hours. They stepped in Friday pre-market. We didn't get there during the day, but if we open down here, you say, okay, I'm taking my calls here with confidence. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Okay. So if it works, we're looking left immediately. Okay. I'm looking for these wicks here and I'm finding some targets to take profit on. So definitely Friday close. The closes of the previous day, that's way up here. You always want to take note of that. Always want to take note of those closes. If you're in calls or something or puts, or if we open up here and we come down, you don't want to be bearish on puts, a puts entry on Friday's close. That's a support, you guys. Like it's the most recent support we have, the close of the previous day. Okay. If we open down here and we start double topping action, yeah, take your puts here at Friday's close. Like you need to take puts and calls at spots that make sense. Okay. Like, I mean, I don't know a quick example, but to me, that's why larger time frame candles make so much sense to me because you can look at these big buys and go, okay, there's movement here, there's price action here. Look at all these candle closes right there. There's price action here. Why do we get a wick here? Anybody know? That's the daily 9. Okay, if you're like, hey, why is there a wick here? Why did that reject hard? Go the daily. That's the 9 moving average, perfect rejection. Okay, why do we bounce here after hours? 217 support. So take your calls and puts, you guys, where it makes sense. Okay, some of you guys are just like, squirrels crossing the road. It's like you guys just want to dive into stuff, right at the open. It's like markets are open. You guys, I've said it over and over. Markets are open like what, 5.5, 6 hours a day. Why do you need to trade the opening 5-minute candle? Let's watch and see how we react here. Look at this Friday close here. Let's see what we do here. It's like, why take puts at the open and we just blast up? And it's like, well, I could have been in calls on a breakout retest. Like, let the market come to you guys. And so to me, it's either open over 219, be bullish. If we're under, it is puts day trade bias because we open under our close. We're opening under, hypothetically, this midday low here, 218.5. But, take your profits all the way down here to 217. Or on the flip side, we open here. Super nice range. I don't know if we'll get that move in one day, $2 range. Sometimes it makes it, sometimes it doesn't. But it's like easy profit targets here, you guys. Just look left. Okay, quick recap. And if anybody was late on SPY QQQ, then we're going to wrap this. 570, big area of interest. I don't know if we're going to gap up tomorrow, gap down, open flat, but 570, huge spot to watch here, you guys. Mark these levels, take a screenshot if you need them. There's some options activity tomorrow. 575, 570, and 567. We'll come back next week. We'll see if it played out at all. These little intraday trend lines don't really. I'll leave it here. Why not? We'll see if that makes sense tomorrow or not. But 570. My hope is they open right around there because I don't like to trade. We can open here at this zone. But the way I trade, I like to find my extremes. So extreme tops and extreme bottoms, I like to trade around that better. Definitely, we can trade 571.55. Absolutely. We open over it. The hourly 20 opens over it. Let's take a day trade here. Be bullish into this. Opens under it, which is also under, again, previous day close. It's under Thursday price action here. Like, look at 571.55. I slapped on there pretty quick. Look how much that matters on Thursday. Selling pressure under, selling pressure under, selling pressure under. So we open under that. Definitely a spot to watch. But again, you miss the move, like, don't chase puts down here at 570. If we break down, fine. I will gladly take that sell through 570 because that's confirmation for me on a bearish day. If we break that 570. So I appreciate you guys. 23 of you guys stuck around. Hopefully 23 people got a little bit smarter, learned something different. DMs are always open, you guys. But yeah, let's have a great week. Let's trade smart. Let's not talk politics. Let's just look out for one another, you guys, your friends, your family. Let's not start fights. We're all Americans, man. Let's just have a good time. Drink a beer, do whatever you guys got to do, you guys. But with that, you guys, I'm going to end the chat because I'm rambling. It's not making sense, but let's have a good night. DMs are always open. You guys send me a chart if you guys have questions, but I'll chat with you guys later.